So today we're doing a 30 days of meditating challenge right here. I'm not moving for 30 days.
Is that how you see me?
That's how everyone sees me.
Hello. Today I am doing a Q&A with my brother. His name's Skyler. He likes to go by Sky.
Hi.
He is the mastermind behind all of the animations on my channels. So if you've seen any of my previous videos, all of the animations have been done by him. I get that question a lot if I use templates or anything along those lines, and he makes them artisanally every single time from scratch.
Yeah.
These are really loud planes.
I didn't even notice it.
Flying over.
Okay, no, we're continuing.
We wanted to shoot outside, so whatever. I mean, the audio is probably not going to be the best, but whatever.
It's nice right here.
Yeah.
It's fine. We're powering through.
So I asked on Instagram if you guys had any questions for us, and we're just going to dive into that and I want to do speed round. Like, let's just knock out.
Okay, first question. I actually have a question for them.
Okay.
Because we've heard our entire life either we look a lot alike, or we look nothing at all alike. Like we're not even brothers. So we are actually brothers, blood related and everything. So like, do we look alike, right?
Yeah.
I'm very curious to know.
Maybe it helps without glasses.
Yeah. Or me with glasses. Give me glasses.
Yeah, with glasses. Try the glasses.
I can't see. You have shitty eyesight.
I fully expect this to be pretty chaotic. So anyway, let's just dive in.
Since when do you have a brother? Since 21 years ago.
Who asked that?
Next question. What the fuck?
How did you guys meet? How did we meet?
So, how much time you didn't see him? Last time I saw him, it's been since last February. So he left literally right before everything locked down in 2020. So like right after my birthday.
So 15 months.
No. 15 months. Yeah, you're right.
Which is the longest we've ever gone. Before it was 11 months.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
It doesn't even feel like that.
It's a long time.
In a fight, do you think you'd win against a mountain lion, but you're only armed with a very small pocket knife? I
guess a mountain lion? Probably not.
With a pocket knife, I'm dying.
I would say I'm not giving myself good odds in that situation. What languages does your brother speak?
English. And a little bit of JavaScript.
Yeah, that's funny.
And I understand some Spanish, but I don't speak it.
Would you ever write a book?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't want to flat out say no, but I'm not really a writer type. He's the writer type.
Let's see here.
I like more visual arts.
I, on the other hand, am working on a book, so that's definitely gonna happen.
Shameless plug. Okay. We can't get you right.
I'm getting a lot of questions if you're single.
Yes. Hello.
How did you learn to animate?
Okay, I self-taught. I first started learning, I downloaded a totally legal version of After Effects back when I was 14, and I started messing around with video game clips and just experimenting with effects and montages in a certain game.
Uncharted 3, right?
Yeah, Uncharted 3.
Yeah.
From there, I fell in love with the application and the stuff that I was doing, and eventually, I branched out into doing actual work that I could get paid for. It's been a constant process of learning. I don't consider myself at all anywhere near the potential, and I hope I never hit that point.
Yeah.
Because I feel like as soon as you think you know everything, you've already lost. Yeah.
Yeah. And any animators I should check out? Do you have any all-star animators that you recommend?
Man. Well, okay. In terms of places for inspiration for effects or stuff like that, I love Ben Marriott on YouTube. He has fantastic tutorials. There are some other there's some great firms that I like. Ordinary Folk is one of them. They do incredible work. I have my specific inspirations, but it really just comes from just exploring, right? I have too many.
Yeah.
To even name,
In a sense, I think you took a similar path in the whole self-learning, self-teaching, autodidact, watching tutorials online, trying things out, making stuff, and just having fun with it, and then it developed into this real skill that you could make money from.
Yeah, I considered schooling. I considered going to college. It was, I'm glad I chose not to, just for the way that I learn and how I am. I'm much better pushing on my own. I think we're very similar in that sense.
Yeah.
But my best friends have been YouTube, Google, forums in general, and Skillshare, and any places like that have been just fantastic. There's the thing that a lot of times I get the question actually is where do I start learning? And it's what I know and what I've learned is a massive collection of very little things, right? I read one sentence in a forum, oh shit, there's this effect, there's this toggle, there's this and this and whatever, and it goes well with this, right? Now I know that it's in the back of my brain. I may use it like in a year and a half when a project comes up. I just remember that, right? And so like my collection of understanding and knowledge with animation has just come from like just hundreds and hundreds of hours of research and just doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
that's a great point, actually.
Yeah.
Breaking it down to a bunch of little pieces of knowledge that you've kind of accumulated.
I mean, that's, you know, and that's kind of what school and whatever is like supposed to, right, centralize those little pieces of knowledge that you get. I've just found that finding them myself has been more fulfilling and a lot more efficient for me, which is why I didn't go to school. Yeah. Can I hear you guys speak Spanish?
Yeah.
Can't hear me speak Spanish.
Say something.
This is like actually.
Decí algo en español.
No, I actually can't speak it. That's like kind of embarrassing that I have a linguist brother and I can only speak English. I understand some Spanish.
It's just, it goes back to the fact that we have different interests. You've focused on different things, and I've been more focused on travel. And
I should know Spanish.
It's never too late, you know? It's never too late.
No, I will learn. I'm just like, I have just not put any effort towards it. So
how was your childhood?
I would say pretty great. Like we had a pretty great. I'm speaking for myself, just in general. I had a great childhood.
Yeah.
Nothing really to complain about.
I think we were very
lucky.
Yeah.
With our family situation.
To have caring parents. You know? That's the biggest thing, you know? Lucky also to always have enough for like food on the table and to not worry about that.
Yeah, 100%. That one's very easy to take for granted.
And to have parents that were very open-minded and
the main thing, like the first thing whenever someone asks something similar to that question is the fact that we had like parents that treated us as equals from a very young age. It was never like a superior inferior dynamic, like we're the kid, they're the parent. Like, obviously they're parenting, but it was, you know, they would always hear us out if we're upset as like a 8-year-old, 10-year-old. Like if we're upset, our upset is valid, and they would listen to us and, you know, have an open dialogue. And I think that very much shaped where we are now, and even like the ability for us to have a healthy relationship personally and working and everything stems from our ability to, you know, have emotional conversations and be in tune with that kind of thing.
Yeah. I think sometimes things were frustratingly democratic. Like there was always a discussion about everything, and so it's rare for all of us to agree, and so there's usually a deadlock on stuff. It's difficult to make plans, it's difficult to figure out where we're gonna eat, like all of that
I guess.
stuff.
I mean, I think that goes with maybe most families. I don't know, or not, I'm not sure. But, you know, it's never cut and dry, you know, perfect and great, right? But overall, I think it was fantastic. Yeah.
Were you ever competitive with each other?
Yes. I mean, I think this goes with most siblings, right? To some degree. I mean, I guess maybe not for some, but yeah, especially younger, when we were younger. It kind of changed when he did his exchange to France, when he left the U.S. When he was 17. It kind of like opened up the air for me, right? So like that kind of just changed then. When he came back, it was a little bit rough, but after that, I mean, I don't know. I think after he started leaving like to Mexico and Italy and so on, it was a lot easier to like have a non-competitive relationship, and like that was literally like what started us working together, right? It was just easier that way. So yeah, we were, but I wouldn't say like, I don't know, not like the typical competition. Like we were never like competing for like who could be first in whatever, or like, I don't know, sports and stuff. Like that wasn't our type of competition. It was more like petty brother stuff. Right?
Yeah, I think I felt pretty competitive growing up, unnecessarily. Like I don't think I had the emotional maturity.
Yeah, I know I unintentionally, just by existing, challenged him a lot.
Yeah, and I think, but as we've kind of developed separate interests and different skill sets too, you know, we're good at different things. It has made it a lot easier to be not see each other competitively. Like we work together now, and there's a lot more room to just be individuals.
I actually think a lot of the reason, because I don't consider myself that competitive of a person. I think a lot of us growing up together kind of like that has led to me being more inclined to be cooperative than competitive with people. Like especially with friends, like with, you know, other people or whatever, like I guess I could be competitive, but I don't like competing with friends and stuff. I'm much more cooperative.
I would say I'm a lot more competitive than you.
Yeah.
Do you live together nowadays? No, we don't. And I think it's better that way, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, especially like we're actually there's a fucking owl. We're very different, I think, in how we approach just living in general. I'm very much a homebody, and as pretty much all of you know, Nathan is very much the traveler and out and about. Yeah. So
it wouldn't really make sense.
Yeah,
Together. And I think it's better.
And the last time we did, I mean, back in Oregon, right, when we were still together before he moved, I think it's just it's not very cohesive.
Yeah,
for us to live together.
We just prefer our own space, and I think it makes it easier to have a healthy relationship.
It kind of goes with the last question too. Like, it just helped a lot, right? Having our own space, be able to work together. So no,
it's better not to force it too.
Don't have plans for it either.
Who's the favorite child? Probably you.
No, what?
Probably you.
There's no favorite child. This question can't be there. If they even see this question, they're gonna be upset.
Probably you.
No, there's no favorite child.
How do you find the spark to keep moving forward on days where you don't want to? Is that too deep? Are you wanting more fun stuff?
No, that's a good question. You know, I mean, you've done videos on burnout, and I apply a similar philosophy behind that, right? I mean, there is one video that I really like from another creator, an artist I actually like a lot, Andre Librov. He has a video on burnout that is fantastic. That, you know, he kind of says, like, if you're feeling burnout, like, feel the burnout and, like, just stop, you know? Like, forcing yourself to keep going through that is painful, and it's not going to work, right? And he mentioned, like, you know, one time he had this really tight deadline where he had to turn it around the next day. And sometimes you're stuck in that corner where you just have to burn through. And, you know, if that happens, then you just power through. I mean, there's really nothing more to that, right?
Yeah, but you can't put yourself in those kind of situations too often, because then the consequences become massive.
It's more so, that's a good point. It's kind of like a preventative lifestyle, right? To avoid getting yourself into these burnout situations that you can't avoid, if possible, you know?
Yeah.
It's inevitable, but the more you can prevent it, the better.
OMG, your hair is looking amazing. Sparkle, 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 sparkle.
Were they talking about me or you?
Probably you.
No, probably you, because you shaved your
Yeah,
your
but
hair.
it's really short. I think it's probably you.
Yeah, but looking... Present tense there. It's a journey with your hair growth. Who's the troublemaker out of both of you? Neither of us. I probably got in trouble more in school than you.
What?
Did you ever go to the principal's office?
I followed the rules a lot more when I was younger.
So did I. I mean, I went a couple times.
But I hated school so much.
For like fairly, I mean, I don't know. I didn't like school. I did well. We both did well at school, but like we both didn't like school either.
Yeah. Very restrictive.
That's also part of the reason we didn't end up going to college. But I mean, I got in trouble. Okay, you know what? Hold on. I want to air something out. One time I went to the principal's office because on the bus I was sitting like near the back, right? And there was this little cut in the bus seat in front of me, right? And so for whatever reason, I grabbed a pair of scissors out of my bag to see, like, because I was wondering how the hell did they cut this like triangle shape out of it?
So you started cutting more?
No, I'm not cutting more. I'm like I'm literally using this pair of scissors I had in my backpack to like see like how they got it, right?
You didn't think for a second that this looks quite suspicious?
No, because I didn't think anyone was even looking. I was sitting alone in the seat. This dumbass behind me, I think his name was Alex or something. I don't know. I don't remember his name. He yells from the back of the bus all the way to the front. He says, "Mr. Bus Driver, Sky is cutting the back of the seat." So the whole bus goes silent, right? The bus driver stops, has me do this walk of shame to the front, right? And he asks, like, "Did you?" This was like maybe second grade, maybe third grade or something. So like, I don't know, 8 or 9.
Yeah.
I don't know, somewhere in there. The bus driver asked if I did it. I literally cannot speak because I'm mortified, right? He said, "I'm gonna write this up and tell the principal, right? And you're gonna have to pay for it." And so like I just wanted to go sit down. I was probably like red as a tomato, and I ended up having to pay like $50 for that. It was like an 8-year-old, like that was my gift. And I don't know why. Like my parents would have totally believed me if I had said like I didn't do it, but I don't know. I just ended up forking over the 50 because I was so afraid that people would accuse me of lying.
Yeah, but at 8 years old, you probably didn't even have $50.
That was my birthday gift from our grandparents.
So you paid for it?
I ended up paying for it.
They didn't cover? You didn't explain the situation to them?
I was afraid that they would think that I was lying. So I lost $50 over some dumb kid snitching on me for something I didn't do.
Thanks a lot, Alex.
If you're out there, yeah.
Oh my God. Do you want to answer what's it like to work with Nathaniel, with me?
It's actually like very easy. Let me not boost his ego too much, but like, I guess to give better context, right? I work freelance, right? So I work with other clients, and typically, just keeping it very simple, there's a lot of rounds of feedback, right? Depending on who you're working with. With Nathan, it's a lot easier to, like, I don't know. He gives me a lot of creative freedom, and like most of the time, I'd say like at least 80% of the time, whatever I end up animating, he's like, "Yeah, cool, looks good." Like there's very, very minimal feedback from him. So it's a lot of fun. I would say he's my most fun client because he literally gives me like the freest reign on this stuff. Plus, like, you know, the visuals that we do are a lot of fun, right? You know?
Yeah,
like
I think here, my philosophy is that, you know, I hire you because you know, I want your help in something that you're really good at, right? And I would rather not restrict you. I'd rather give you as much creative freedom as possible so that you can just do what you're good at,
right,
and not get in your way, you know?
Yeah.
And that contributes to the final result so that it's even better.
Right.
And I've always found that filmmaking is a team sport. It requires, you're stressing because of the helicopter.
Nope. What helicopter? I don't see a helicopter.
Oh, God! I think I've always felt strongly that filmmaking is a team sport and that it requires a bunch of different skill sets, and filmmaking at its best is when a bunch of different people with different skill sets come together and work cohesively. And so that's something I'm always trying to incorporate in my work. You know, I work with a sound designer who does a lot of sound design for his animations. It helps them come to life, and those animations support the message of my videos. So all these different people that do things that I'm not necessarily good at help me do a better job of kind of conveying my message, you know? So,
yeah, I agree. And I mean, it's like we kind of hit the lotto with not having too much overlap on this. Like the fact that we're in the same industry but have like two halves of it, and we both like doing what we do, is like kind of incredibly lucky.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And I have no interest learning how to like do animation because I have a lot of other interests, and so I can rely on you to do what you're really good at. So,
and I've always been more inclined to be like in the post production side of things, not necessarily like in front of the camera. So yeah.
Do you subconsciously compare yourself to the others,
the same age
as you?
Oh, so like me comparing to myself to him at...
Oh wait, no, hold on, no. The question is, do you subconsciously compare yourself to others the same age as you? So
like others in general?
Yeah.
No, actually no. I don't. I mean, maybe sometimes, right? You know, like my peers or people who I guess like I went to high school with, right? Because I didn't go to college either. So
do you think that decision was influenced by me, like seeing that it worked out?
Well, okay, maybe to some degree, but
because you were considering it.
I was considering it a lot more than you at that point.
Yeah,
but I guess partially, I wouldn't attribute it as the main factor. But yeah, I guess seeing like it was working for you, right? And especially for like what we do and this industry, like you don't really need schooling for that, right?
Yeah.
If you're inclined to learn on your own. What was the original question? Oh yeah, comparing to other people my age.
Yeah.
Not in like I don't know, not really in a toxic way. I know comparing to other people your age can sometimes feel toxic. Like, oh, there's someone who's doing, this many more things or traveling this much more, or making 10 times more, whatever. Yeah. I think it's more like a reference point to remember, where I'm at and what I'm doing is for me, and it's what I like doing, and my path is for me and theirs is for them. So yeah, I guess to some degree.
That's great. I mean, I know I do that. Not with you, but I compare a lot of people like, they're 24 and they've already done X, and there's a lot of that, and I definitely try to at least just be mindful of that kind of behavior, because it's not healthy and it's not constructive at all. But I think it's normal, and I think that some people struggle with it more than others, and
Okay, I don't know if we want to include this, but meeting Lexi yesterday, having traveled to every single country in the world at 21. That one, when I heard that, I was like, damn, like what the fuck? Because I've been to a handful, less than Nathan, but like, geez, like that's where it's like, damn, maybe I need to travel more.
What did it make you feel like you haven't been traveling enough, or did it make you feel like...
Yeah, I mean, there's context as well. Like, the entire world's been locked up for a year plus, so I'm kind of itching to go places and, visit Europe and
that's cool.
So
that's new. Forth. That's new.
Yeah.
Like, I have not associated you with
if you'd asked me like 2 years ago if I was interested in travel, like besides, basic, like of course I like traveling, right? But it was definitely less so than now. Like, I'm much more interested to, go through Europe, especially Japan. I'm like ecstatic to visit Japan someday, hopefully soon.
Together, that'd be a really cool trip together.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to see. I like that one. What are some of your guys' funniest memories as brothers? I mean, oddly specific ones, like I could think, we've done some family trips, right? Like in like 2015, we went to the East Coast of the United States, right? I just remember like random events, like just goofing off.
Okay, I need an explanation as to why this is happening right now. Oh my god.
Yeah, I have a specific one. Do you remember goofing around with photo booth? And
oh my god, that video
funny.
somewhere.
Maybe I can find it and include it in this video.
Wee! I'm on a roller coaster. Wait, shouldn't I be turned around? Someone's shooting
That's
me.
funny. That's very funny. Very, very funny. Okay, bye-bye.
I'm just thinking really funny screenshots we've taken from FaceTime calls.
Yeah, I'm not showing those. I'm not showing
like
those.
the one of you with your face with the photo frame behind. Oh my god. Okay, I have a good question.
Okay.
How did you do the walking steps effect in the Picasso video? Do you know what they're referring to?
Yeah, I do know. Yeah, okay, so like, I mean, just because I use After Effects for like pretty much everything. It was just in a 3D scene, right? I just made like some, I think it was a gradient, like a noisy gradient something for the ground and background. And then I just did a feet animation, right? Just like animating them.
Like footsteps.
Footsteps, yeah. And then I just placed it in 3D space, right? And then, add post effects, right? Like I did glow and some other like grain stuff.
We should get you to do a tutorial of some kind.
Yeah, I could do.
You should make a class actually on all of this.
I should. That'd be. I would be interested.
Awesome.
Actually, I would be interested to hear if anyone would be interested in like seeing like a breakdown class on animation stuff, like specifically what I've done with him. And like,
I think I already know the answer to that.
Yeah, probably yes, but I don't know like if people are actually interested in seeing that much behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you guys fight sometimes? For what?
Much less lately. I mean, it depends on when you're asking this, right? Like,
there's definitely a lot of bickering.
There's definitely bickering. I mentioned it before, but I mean, it's rare when he gives feedback. Sometimes I won't agree with his feedback, like from a design perspective, or like my intentions for the visuals for video don't line up with what he was imagining. So like sometimes we'll bicker about that. It's nothing major. In general, from growing up, like our relationship growing up, I mean, we kind of talked about it a little bit. It was a pretty tense relationship, right? We mentioned it kind of in the competitive part, but like, there were, I don't know, it's a little more complicated than that. I just remember like there was a lot of strife.
Not seeing eye to eye. Even now, I think sometimes we sometimes have disagreements because we're just very different personalities. Like, you're, like you said, you're more of a homebody. You have different interests. And I like to be really active and out and doing things that kind of, I don't know, throw me out of my comfort zone maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say you're definitely more so like that, but
it's not that you don't challenge your comfort zone, but maybe you do it in different ways. Yeah. It's just different interests.
So taking that while you're growing up and figuring that out, because you don't know that when you're young into like early teens and so on. Like, yeah, and especially because, Nathan knows this, that, like, he has a very big energy, right? And so it's a lot to handle sometimes, again, when you're, like, younger and you're not really, like, fully aware of why you're feeling certain things or you're upset or, this and that, so.
I think ultimately also it's, like, we both want the relationship to work, we want to get along.
Which is really important.
But we also have been trying to figure out, like, I would say we're both on the more introverted side, you even more than me. So there's also figuring out how do you balance having your own time alone and doing what you need to feel like energetically okay so that you don't feel drained, and not forcing things. So, yeah, I mean, I think we're still figuring it out, Yeah,
but, I mean, it's a constant process, and it'll always be that way.
But it feels
in
like
a good way, in a very good way.
And I feel like we're on the right trajectory. Like it's kind of cool to now be adults and have more freedom. And
again, like kind of what we mentioned before, like our relationship completely evolved in the past couple of years since he moved, and we were able to have that kind of space on our own to, I guess, realize who we are as individuals, not as brothers, right? And so doing that for both of us, like coming back together, right? Not like we had a fallout or anything, but like just having that space, and then coming back together just makes it a lot easier to, have that kind of relationship. Yeah.
This is turning out a lot deeper than I was expecting.
I knew it was going to end up like this. I knew it was bound to happen.
Let's see. People are saying you look like Italian or Middle Eastern.
Italian is actually fairly accurate, just from like doing like one of those like ancestry DNA thingies or whatever. I'm like collectively like almost like half Italian or something by blood. Yeah, which is pretty interesting.
I mean, we.
Well, you less so, right?
How is that possible?
well, your mix from our parents was slightly different. Otherwise, we look exactly
Is that
alike.
how DNA works?
Yeah, I think so, right? Like you get more from our mom's side.
Don't we have the same DNA though? We have the same DNA.
No, that would be twins,
Oh, I see.
right? We're not twins. Definitely
Well,
not twins.
we have the same exact ancestors.
We have the same parents.
So
Yeah. Wait, what was? Oh yeah. I've heard a whole bunch. I heard in like high school people calling like, I don't know, they would say like Mexican, Middle Eastern, like I don't know, all over the board.
So I got, is he your real brother? You don't look like each other at all, Nathaniel.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's what I asked at the beginning, right? People either say we look a lot alike or nothing at all. So.
What software do you use for animations?
After Effects and sometimes Cinema 4D. I'm leaning more into that, right? Because I'm doing, my current exploration is more into 3D. But like most everything that I do is in After Effects with like, Photoshop, Illustrator that go with it. But like my bread and butter is definitely Adobe After Effects.
Here's a good one. If you had to have a conventional job, what would it be? That's a great one.
What do you mean conventional? How would you define conventional?
Like more of like a 9 to 5 working somewhere.
Working for an agency as an animator. But if we have to exclude animation, then I don't know. I've honestly like never considered it, so I don't know.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know if being an author is a more conventional job. Probably
That's not a
no?
conventional
How about
job.
like I would do? Let's see.
Like a
here.
journalist.
Sometimes there are jobs where I'm
journalist?
like, dang, that would be really cool. Like how about like a taste tester? That's great.
That's not a conventional job. You went from unconventional to even more unconventional.
Okay, hold on. How about
Like maybe like journalist? Would you be a journalist? That's fairly conventional.
I actually had that thought, but like I don't know.
I mean, as you can tell, conventional is not really our strong suit here. Like I honestly, I've never even thought of this because like I can't even think of not doing animation. It was either this works or it works. I was gonna make it work.
Oh, maybe I'd be like a writer for like TV shows or something. Like a
comedy writer?
no, like
Drama?
not comedy, like a screenwriter, or what is it called?
I don't know. You're asking me. It's your new career.
A writer for screenplays.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I guess that's fairly conventional. I mean, again, then like mine would fall into like I guess either an editor or some visual person at like some either agency for films or whatever. Like that's fairly more conventional than freelance. So that's my answer. It kind of falls in the same field, but yeah.
Maybe I would work in like an incredible like botanical garden or something, like something
You keep going unconventional.
That's unconventional. I'm just thinking like what would be interesting and fun, like maybe I would become like this connoisseur of plants and exotic like specimens, species from all over the place.
Could you imagine me as a chef?
Yeah, if you really kind of went on that path earlier on.
I could. I mean, I don't care enough for cooking, but
You've honestly been extremely avoidant in the kitchen for a long time, but
Right.
now you're kind of starting to explore it
yeah,
more.
kind of. I like it more than I thought I would. Gonna visit Brazil. Of course, that question had to be in there.
Come to Brazil.
Come to Brazil was in there.
Você é bem-vindo, cara. Did you understand that?
Not a single word of that.
You're welcome, bro. Like,
Is that
you are
Portuguese,
welcome.
Portugal,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, from
Portugal,
Brazil.
Portuguese, or Brazilian
Brazil, yeah.
Portuguese?
From Brazil.
Okay.
What is the one thing that you yearn for the most right now?
Oh man. Has nothing to do with the questions.
Parties, baby.
No, not that for me. I would say just travel. I mean, I think that applies for a lot of people. Like just the, having freedom again. And I honestly don't think I took advantage of that enough before.
Yeah, travel.
So
for
this
sure.
is very much like shit, I don't know. The
I'm
next
revoking my answer. It's travel.
time. Yeah, the next time, something like this happens, I hope I'll feel like, hey, at least I maximized seeing the world a little bit more, because
Yeah.
we don't know the next time we're going to be locked up again,
Yeah.
That's a question for you. Have you ever thought about starting a podcast?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think there's too many projects right now on the table, but I'd love to do that at some point. Yeah. Oh, there you go. That's a great one. How much time do you give yourself in the mornings before you start on everything else? Do you have a morning routine at all?
Kind of.
I don't really. I
Kind of,
just have a
not
few
really.
things that I like to do, but
Since I kind of make my own schedule and it just involves like however busy I am that day, I get up and make coffee and I'll just go sit at my computer and like start whatever it is I'm working
so
on.
you immediately dive in, pretty much.
I go pretty slow in the morning. I mean, I'll take my time with coffee,
Yeah.
or whatever.
I kind of like to take at least an hour or two, actually.
Yeah, I usually try and get out of bed like no later than like 9 or or you know, if it was like a late night, maybe 9:30, and then I try and start by like no later than 10 or 10:30. So not that long of a morning routine. What's it like to work with your younger brother?
Oh, did somebody ask that?
No. But
it's good. It's good. I think our relationship has actually gotten better through having this kind of commonality, like having something to talk about and connect on. Because for a while, it felt like we had like very little overlap. You know. So.
I feel like, you know, it's not a question, but kind of a something that I don't know if people care about or think about. Our workflow is very relaxed compared to most, and not talking about what I mentioned before, but like literally our meetings are like, or like when he has a video that needs animations, he'll just like send
FaceTime
a voice.
each other.
Yeah, he'll either send a voice message through text, or like he'll just FaceTime me and be like, you know, I have like 5 animations that need to be done for this video. I'm aiming for this date to post it. And then we'll just like work from there. I'll just like start. Like it's super relaxed, which, you know, helps a lot with having like a, you know, a working relationship with your own brother, you know?
Okay, well,
everything. We'll probably cut some out.
Well, that was a little Q&A with my bro Chach. It was lots of fun answering questions with you.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say to the world? This is your
not really.
one chance to reach out.
Okay, okay. I mean, I'd like to say thank you, right, to some of the comments that I've seen, right? Although people may not know that it's been me doing the animations, or people who directly, you know, reach out, who found, like, you know, me through my website or whatever. Yeah. I appreciate the nice comments. I'm glad people like the stuff that I do and actually appreciate it, right? You know, that they see that it's more than just I don't know, random visuals.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, just know that whenever you see animations in my videos, it is done at his hands.
I think a lot of people think, I mean, I think at this point people understand you have a team.
Whenever anybody asks me, I tell them you're the one that's behind all the magic. We have worked together extensively in developing the aesthetic.
I've never really cared
back and forth. But it's you. I mean, you're the one making that come to life.
Yeah, and I've never really cared for like credit on that kind of stuff, you know. Again, I'm more so, I mentioned before, I'm more so in post-production. I'm just glad people appreciate it, you know. Yeah, that's all. So thank you.
Cool. All right. Well, subscribe. I never say that.
What's your outro?
I don't have an outro. I don't even usually ask.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure you like, comment, and no, I don't know.
You wanna close it?
You don't have an outro?
No. Usually I'm like, all right. See you guys soon. But I'll just say this. I mean, let us know if you enjoyed this, and we can maybe do this again in the future. Thank you for watching.